with respect to the same county, what is there anything in the language that says, okay, if a ballot has a defect and the signature verification says, well, we may notify those voters, we're going to go ahead and notify them via mail or email, email or telephone, but they look at another ballot and say, you know what, we don't think we need to notify this voter. Is there anything that guards against the signature verification committee from picking and choosing which voters it may notify of the defect?
And again, that's going to depend on the time circumstances, because in every scenario, as you tick closer to the deadlines that apply to your election, essentially it doesn't matter what jurisdiction or that you're in, there is going to be a point where they are unable to ensure contact with that voter, and that voter have an opportunity to cure.
So in one case, let's use Tarrant County. We'll pick on my county as an example. In Tarrant County, the signature verification committee could have a pile of ballots that they've identified a defect in. And they say, well, we have the authority now under statute that we may notify the voters of these defects. And we're going to notify a few of these voters, and then if we get busy or run out of time, we don't have any requirement to notify the rest of those voters in the same manner. Is that right? And
there is no requirement for them to notify those voters under current law.
So under this language, some voters could receive the extra benefit of a notification of a defect in their ballot and be afforded the opportunity to correct the defect to ensure that their vote is counted, and other voters will simply not have that opportunity because the signature verification committee arbitrarily decides we are not going to give them that opportunity. Is that right?
That is based on time and the availability of manpower to make these contacts with voters.
So it is completely within the discretion of a signature verification committee if voters get notified, and if so, what voters get notified?
Only after the signature verification committee has determined that there is not enough time to mail back the ballot for them to correct it and return it so it can be counted.
How are signature verification committees selected or appointed? Are they partisan officials?
Just to go back to the definition of a signature verification committee, it means a group that meets prior to election day to compare the signatures on applications for ballot by mail to the corresponding carrier envelopes. And my notes reference me to section 87.027 of the election code.
Do political parties have a role in nominating or selecting who is on a signature verification committee?
I would need to go and read that specific statute in order to give you a proper answer. And I just don't have that in front of me at the moment.
Okay. Representative, these are partisan officials who are being given power to pick and choose which voters they want to notify of a defect in their ballot and which voters they do not want to notify of a defect in their ballot. So I think this is a huge problem in the amendment that will lead to unequal treatment of voters both within a county and across multiple counties. Let me ask you a question quickly on a different section. On page 7, you add language about the Secretary of State shall conduct a study regarding the implementation of educational programs, including the production as it relates to voters with disabilities. Did you consider also adding in language that the Secretary of State shall conduct a study regarding the racial impact of this bill?
No, sir. I looked directly to section 5.07 of the Senate Bill 1 as engrossed out of the Senate for that language. And I know there was a discussion, and I believe that Senator Zaffarini offered this specific language. So
thank you.
I wanted to be able to have everyone consider it.